Hello. I was going to do this and I decided to do this, but hello boys and girls, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be chatting. I love it when we chat, okay? Today we're going to be talking about something that is really confusing me. I don't go lie, give you now, it's just so confusing, okay? We'll be talking about organic skincare in Nigeria and how a lot of things are confusing me. Before I started this video, I had to Google the meaning of organic skincare. That's how serious this matter is, okay? Because at a point I started feeling like I didn't know certain things that I thought I already know. Let's talk about organic skincare in Nigeria, okay? And let's try to clear some things up. Just so that this video makes a lot of sense, okay? I am going to have to merge two topics that for somebody who does not already know where I'm coming from or who is not Nigerian, because this video, everything I'm going to say honestly will have a very Nigerian context. But for somebody who has just stumbled upon this video thinking, oh, I want to learn more about organic skincare products, you're in for a very rude shock, okay? In this video, I'm going to have to merge two things. The first one is skin bleaching. Crazy enough. And then the second is organic skincare. I did a whole video dedicated to skin bleaching in 2018. I had to go through my archives to actually figure out when exactly in 2018, and it was in December. And a lot of things led to me doing that video. There was a whole conversation on social media at the time. An American celebrity had just flown in or was about to fly into Nigeria to promote some skin lightening products, and people were pissed, okay? I got a lot of DMs asking me to please tackle this or just say something about it, and that was what largely led to that video. So in that video, I kind of talked about skin bleaching extensively. I tried to cover a lot of things, right, in that video. To my knowledge at the time, you know, the male gaze, culture, social, I tried to cover a lot of things, right? And that video, bro, is crazy because the second thing that I'm now about to bring in, right, was not even something I focused on at any point in that video. And it is organic skincare products, okay? So over the years, I've also gone on to show you guys products from organic skincare brands on this channel. And they're mostly like butters, like shea butters, oils, mostly shea oils or coconut oils or oil blends, okay? Soaps, black soaps as well, which are really a West African thing, and we've had them for centuries and are still a thing now, right? So these are just like, if we're talking about organic skincare products that I've shared with you guys over the years, it's mostly always butters, oils, and soaps. And those of them that I really like and I still use up until today, or I've used for a very long period of time, a lot of you already know from what brands they come from. What I find very fascinating and just completely bonkers is that over the past 5 years, so just thinking 2018 till now, organic skincare has gone on to take a whole new meaning, a completely different meaning to the average young Nigerian woman, to the point that I know people who do not want to have anything to do with things that are labeled organic skincare. And this is because just a lot has gone on that the speed with which this has happened also is just mind-boggling. But organic skincare just means a completely different thing now, okay? Honestly, and it's confusing, and that's what I think I want to just kind of talk about in this video and possibly just try to clear up. Before we continue, let's do a quick Google search on organic skincare. What is organic skincare? I had to put on my Google search bar organic skincare meaning. First website here defines organic skincare as products, or let me just read it verbatim. Organic skincare products are made of natural ingredients without any chemical elements in them. If you scroll down that page, okay, there are so many websites, because I Googled the same thing yesterday. So many websites, okay, giving you meanings, like different meanings, right? But they're all just largely saying the same thing. There's also like a natural skincare products versus like organic skincare products conversation that tends to pop up sometimes when you're looking for a definition. And just to also clear it for people who do not understand, organic skincare products and natural skincare products, they belong in the same WhatsApp group. Like largely they have the same meaning, but organic skincare even takes it a step further, because with organic skincare, the codes are stricter. They're not just using natural products just for the sake. The focus is on organic. So it's not just that the ingredients have to be natural, they have to be organic as well, which, like I say, takes it a step further. One of the reasons why I also just decided that this is a video that I had to do was that Even before I sat down to do this video, I had to watch some TikTok videos. I had to watch some YouTube videos. I watched videos on different platforms. And one thing that I find really jarring is that people are explaining some of the negative side effects that they are experiencing, or they've started experiencing, or they experienced, right, after using products from specific organic skincare vendors. We're talking about like chemical bonds, like chemicals, like chemical bonds to the skin, okay? We're talking about stretch marks that look like craters and grooves, like they're very deep and they look very abnormal. We're looking at, thank you Jesus, they just brought light. Our problems are plenty, but anyways, if you guys hear any bells, just please ignore that. We're talking about skin infections, right? And the thing that I found really jarring is that you watch these videos and people are in the comment section saying things that are just shocking to me. So someone is saying, I used this product for 6 months and look at my skin, I got burnt and I have hyperpigmentation from the burns. And someone is there in the comment section, not one, sometimes not two, not three, saying, oh, you should not have used the particular range you used, that you experienced those burns because you used the strawberry range, for example, whereas you're not supposed to use the strawberry range. And I'm like, is everybody okay? Because what's going on? I don't understand, because a lot of the side effects that people are experiencing, they're somewhat consistent, because I don't know how to explain it. Like, if you're looking for people who have dealt with infections, you can at least find 3 or 4 people doing a quick search. If it's burns, quickly from the comments or from, you can see at least 4 people talking about how their skin got burnt or something. The stretch marks, I know, I saw people showing pictures and videos of the type of stretch marks that they had to deal with. And my thing is, how is that, or how are you people in the comments trying to imply that this is a normal side effect or an expected side effect from using organic skincare products? Do you guys understand what I'm saying? For me, it's just mind-blowing that you guys are trying to tell people who are complaining, or some people, not you guys, please no vex. Some people are trying to tell people that the things that they're experiencing are to be expected. How are they to be expected? In some of these cases, it's children. It's mothers complaining about how something is going on with their children's skin as a result of using some of these things. God, I beg. I don't even honestly, when I think about it, it just leaves me speechless, because we're going to get more into a lot of things in this video. But what I just did not expect, right, when this whole conversation started and when I started doing my research, we're seeing people trying to shame some of the people who use these products into silence, but by telling them that they are suffering or dealing with what they are dealing with because they used a specific range from an organic skincare brand. These are not even things that you should expect when using non-organic skincare products. And you people are trying to tell people that this should be expected because they are using a particular range. Some of you are also going to say, oh, but everybody's skin is not the same. And I get it too, because I don't even think that there's any skincare product that exists, right, where someone might not, especially depending. So let's say maybe you use a scrub, or you use a mask, or you use, especially when because I feel like even in the beauty industry, being in it for as long as I have, when you even hear of somebody getting burned or like burns most of the time, right, as a reaction to certain products, is mostly maybe sometimes with masks, right, or things that are exfoliants of some sort, is not something you should anticipate or expect. So a dermatologist will tell you that it's an expected reaction to using a moisturizer, for example. How are you people trying to justify this type of thing? Sorry, not you people again. Make una no vex for me. How are people trying to justify this type of thing? How? There's also a part of this conversation which is very, very valid, because some of you are probably thinking it's where you're like, especially for the kids, where we know, because it's something that is even common when we're talking about skincare brands that are not organic, in quotes, where mothers will go and buy bleaching creams knowing that it's proper bleaching creams for their babies because they are trying to improve their children's complexion or the complexion of their babies or whatever it is they are thinking. Some of you can actually also argue strongly, and I agree that some people who end up buying these products, one of the reasons or one of the things that draw them in is most of the time the difference in skin tone that the brands are marketing. So you would say, oh, it's not like they bought these things not expecting to get lighter or not expecting. Like, they know that's what the brand was pushing towards them, and that's the reason why they bought it, right? And you guys can say that, and I can say that, yeah, for some of them, they were just looking for a way to bleach. But then again, bleaching is something that has been a thing in Nigeria since the 50s, right? Like, for a very, very long time. And in as much as we can say, oh yeah, some people are expecting to bleach, in as much as they know that, you know, there's no way an organic skincare product would possibly lighten them that much or whatever it is, right? Some of you will probably be like, oh yeah, they were expecting to change color. Like, when somebody's expecting to change color that drastically, and they go and buy it from somebody who is telling them that it's natural ingredients, like, they too are suspect. I'm not even here to argue that. My thing is that bleaching is such a big conversation, which I'm going to get into later in this video, that some people might want to bleach, and then the reason why they've not gone on to do it is because there's research basically saying how bad steroids and hydroquinone is, right? And a lot of these organic skincare products that we're talking about now, we all know that these are active ingredients in them. And somebody can fool themselves into thinking, okay, but these people are saying it's natural, so there's a natural miracle product here that is going to be able to give me these things, right, without the negative effects of all these other chemicals that people talk about. So therefore, I'm going to convince myself that that is probably what it is and buy it. If you're taken to court, that person has a very strong case, because you are marketing yourself to be natural and not using the things that we find in a lot of over-the-counter lotions that bleaching creams typically have. So a lot of you might be here to argue and say, oh, but they went and bought those things expecting to change color. Some of them actually believe that they were going to change color without what is changing their color being the typical things that will change color. So we're not going to actually not lay any blame on because the blame largely, how you want to look at it, turn it upside down, turn it sideways, the people who are selling these things to consumers, knowing fully well what they are, the blame is largely their own. No, let's not get it twisted. Okay, so let's get into it, because I'm going to be talking about things in stages, and at the end of the day, I hope that this all comes together to be one whole solid video that makes sense. Have you guys ever seen the videos of some of these organic skincare vendors mixing their products? I remember the first time that I saw one, I was in complete awe. Do you guys, like, we're all Nigerians, so we've had birthday celebrations and we've had things happening in the house where sometimes the caterers come and they set up at the backyard, right? And they have these big baths and big butas, right? And they're pouring and mixing things. I promise you, the first time I actually saw one of those videos, I was so convinced that the woman was making abacha. I'm so serious. And I now started listening and I read the caption and I realized that this person is mixing something that they intend to sell to people. You know, like, it looked like, to me, abacha meat preparation. It was just a mixture of different things, and they were talking. There were no masks. So when you're talking, even as I'm talking now, there are bits of saliva leaving my mouth, whether you like it or not. It's not visible, but it is something. So they are talking very loudly over these bowls, right? They are obviously there are droplets going in. Skincare of any type, any sort, right? You're actually required by law to create it in a sterilized environment. Even if it's not a lab that you've rented or that you own, it should be a specific type of environment. You should have a hairnet on, you should have gloves on, masks if you intend to be talking, and then obviously the equipment involved should be sterilized. It's not something you do open air, talking loudly while you're doing it. You know, there was even this video that I saw recently that was so fascinating, where I remember the woman was mixing, saying, look at it, so all organic products. And I had a giggle because, first of all, she was holding a carton of milk, right? Just the type of regular milk that you would buy at the grocery store. The milk in question is not even organic. Okay, let's start from that. It's not organic. She was saying, look at it, 100% natural. I can even eat it. So, and she was using milk. The whole thing is just crazy. She was holding a carton of milk, and then she drank from the milk, and then went on ahead to pour what was left into the mixture, the concoction that she had, like, in front of her. When you hold something up like that to your mouth, there's so much in your mouth, right, that the pack possibly comes in contact with. and then you go on ahead to pour what is left. Bacteria from your mouth. You can't tell me that it has not touched that milk, and then you pour what is left into the bowl. How are people buying these things? It's so confusing. And you know the crazy thing again is that, so you hear these things and they say, oh, they're mixing. They're mixing. It's 100% natural, you know, it's edible. You can eat it. You can eat the whole mixture. That's how natural it is. But then again, you're hearing of people saying that their skin is getting burnt and a couple of other things. And then they're brightening 2-4 shades lighter. What is inside that place is doing all of that? Guys, please be extremely careful what you put on your skin. Aside the burns, the stretch marks, the infections, bleaching has been linked to different types of cancer. Okay? Kidney disease as well. Okay? Your skin is the largest organ that you have. You can't just be putting things that you don't know. And I think that some people who buy these things low-key know that there is no way that these things are 100% natural. But then you've seen results with some people. So it can't be that bad. We all have different types of skin. Let me actually even touch on this. There is no type of skincare product that people will not react to. Some things can give you breakouts. Some things can clog your pores. They are just things that I feel like fall under natural or sometimes unanticipated but expected reactions to have to a certain skincare products, not some of the things that I've already listed. So yes, some people will have like negative like reactions to certain things, but when a lot of people in a certain volume or at a certain volume are complaining about one thing, I need you to step back and just reevaluate or just investigate the whole situation. Look closely at it. If a lot of people in droves are complaining and complaining and complaining, they're not doing it for no reason. I would never support bleaching. It's never something, I've talked about it so many times on this channel. I would never support skin bleaching. Okay? I do not believe that, be it the big corporations, people who work in the big corporations who sell these things, medium-sized businesses, small businesses, that a lot of the people who sell these things to you actually even use these products on a daily basis. They don't. Do you get? They don't use them on a daily basis or the way that they instruct you to use it. I also understand that hyperpigmentation is a real life problem and that people can get sunburns, and for Black people, when certain things happen to your skin, you know, you have to deal with hyperpigmentation even as the thing is clearing, like it's a real thing, right? But then there's vitamin C, and there are all these other safe ingredients, like there are all these other things that are dermatologist approved that you can use. They tend to be mild, that's the truth, and they tend to do what needs to be done at a slower pace, but you have to give your skin grace and you have to give your skin time. These things, or these people that promise you that within 1 month something clears up, or that 1 month is long. In a week or two, they'll tell you that something clears up. In a month, they tell you that you can go from using MAC NW45 to MAC NW30. At that point, like anything that takes you from one shade or makes you 3-4 shades lighter, it's not tackling hyperpigmentation, it's proper bleaching you. Do you understand? These people who sell these things to you, like I said, don't use it as much as you are told to use it, because they understand the implications. They know what they're selling to you. If you desperately want to bleach, and I know that some of you will be like, Dimma, which one is desperately want to bleach again? I said just now that I do not approve of skin bleaching. But then again, I feel like to me now, it's a very sensitive topic. I feel like there's a lot of pressure. There are also a lot of social issues that are tied to it, which I will just get into shortly. But it's not something, women wanting to bleach their skin in mass, right? It's not something that is happening in a vacuum. And for me now, like as I was seeing some of the things I was seeing, you know, like how like they're telling people to abstain, you know, telling you, oh, you shouldn't even be having sex in the first place, you know? And at a point, people realize that the message should even change small and be like, if you have to, you know? Largely, this is how the instruction goes. You shouldn't even be like teenagers, like young children in school, especially teenagers, like by the time puberty starts, they're telling you, oh, you should abstain, you should not even be having sex in the first place. But then gradually over the years, we also see that the messaging is not changing to incorporate things like, if you should, then you have to use protection. Abi, Shebi, that's how it goes. If you desperately feel that you need to bleach, please, you're better off sticking to brands who actually accurately list out the ingredients that they are using. Go to the supermarket. If you feel like you desperately need to do it, those ones are not even better. But you know the reason why I'm even saying that with them, at least, is that if something starts happening, you can Google the list of ingredients you have there and know what your skin is reacting to. You can show it to a dermatologist, and a dermatologist will be like, this contains this. This has been shown to have this and this. A lot of these people are not even disclosing what they put in their products. They're telling you that they're natural, but they are packed full of steroids, and there's hydroquinone, and there are a lot of things that have no business. Sometimes you have battery acid, have no business in skincare, and they're not listing this, they're not specifying it. It's not in the list of ingredients you get. You're one Google search away at least if you're using products from a brand that comes from, has been properly registered, right? It's from a country where they actually have very strict rules around these type of things. Do you understand? Especially in the quantities. There are countries where hydroquinone is not an ingredient that is even banned in skincare. However, there's a percentage limit as of to how much of it should be in over-the-counter products that you sell. So in situations like this, at least you're one Google search away from knowing what you're getting yourself into, even before you start using it. You can take out time. I do this with skincare products sometimes. I take out time and I begin to Google every single thing that is listed there. Is it not better for you? In Nigeria here, although we're seeing a lot of things about sometimes brands even selling things that are not NAFDAC approved, please at least try and make sure that whatever you're buying is NAFDAC approved and that it has been registered with the relevant agencies. Because at least those agencies, they put them through certain things, rigorous, to actually ensure at least that there's a standard when it comes to the quality of what they're saying that they want to put out. You're better off that way. I said I was going to touch on the social aspect of this very, very quickly. And in that video in 2018, I talked about the male gaze and I talked about a bunch of different things. The male gaze is a very valid reason as to why I know that a lot of women do what they do. I'm going to link some articles in the description box that you guys can take out your time to read. But these are proper research articles with references and all of that done by professionals. Bleaching has been a thing in Nigeria since the 50s. Talk to my grandma, they will tell you. Talk to your grandmas, they will tell you. Okay, since the 50s. Just before around that time when a lot of countries started gravitating towards independence, there was this whole shift and change into what the standards of beauty were. It became the white woman or white people. There are a lot of things that the British or the white people actually did to make this the case, but it's just something that has just been present for a very long time until now. Do you understand? So we hear language, we hear how people are described, we see how both men and women, how they describe light-skinned women on social media. A lot of people consider them to be the epitome of beauty. It's even of recent now that I've even started encountering guys who will tell you that, oh, this girl is dark-skinned and beautiful and my spec. For a very long time, it's not something you would hear in discourse. And I'm saying this as somebody who went to a Nigerian university with Nigerian men. Do you understand? You know what they classify as beautiful. And sometimes it's not even just as to what is said to you, it is what society says about a group of other people. And you want them to say that about you as well. Okay, I think about myself as a child growing up in Nigeria in the 1990s, early 2000s. You cannot be selling a skincare product. I remember the billboards and the ads on TV. It could even be something as simple as an antiseptic soap. They're not using a dark-skinned model to sell these things. They are using light-skinned women to sell these things. And when anything that pertains to skincare, you use people that belong to a certain shade range all the time. You're passing a very specific message. One, you're either telling the general public who see these ad materials you put out that, oh, these people are our intended target market, right? If you look like this, we're talking to you, or these people are the epitome of beauty and then our products can get you to look like them. Do you understand? Representation matters. You can't be saying that your product is just for everybody, but then you're not using people that look like majority of the people to sell it. There are so many things that I've heard of, even in this Lagos babes doing, just to be a certain type of complexion and to maintain that complexion. People take injections, there's glutathione, there's things that people do. Okay? And it is because they believe that when they end up looking like that, it gives them an edge. It makes you stand out more to the average Nigerian man. They can't miss you because they like light-skinned babes. This is also not saying that every single Nigerian man does like light-skinned babes, but then again, you guys, anybody who is listening to me objectively knows exactly what I am saying. So for the women who want these things, there's a reason as to why they want it. You also look at the language sometimes that is used to describe good skin. I remember like in the beginning when I'll talk about skincare products, sometimes people will send me DMs and be like, Dimma, would this make me glow? I want glowing skin. And in your mind, you're thinking like glowing is like when your skin has a sheen to it and when it's supple and shining. No. Glowing, just the way organic skincare, the definition has changed in the Nigerian space. Glowing, my skin is clean. I've seen a lot of skincare vendors who sell bleaching products say things like, oh, this will clean your skin, clean up your skin. It will make your skin glow. They're not talking about clean is without pigment sometimes to them. Clean is like, it's so crazy because you're saying clean skin and clean skin is light skin. Glowing skin is light skin. These things are a problem. And in as much as we can come and speak this big English, right? There are young girls who are leaving secondary school, who are entering university, who for them, these pressures are real, very real things, realer than they are for you. Who is like, why would you not love yourself as much? I've also mentioned about how mothers will go off and buy bleaching cream for their babies and apply. That is even is now evolving into, what's this transformer? Like when things are, because what a lot of us know, people our generation will be like, oh, we grew up around aunties who use bleaching creams. We know the people who mix it for them in the market. We know that they use bleaching creams, right? We grew up around aunties, we grew up around moms who use bleaching creams. Women in our generation have now grown up and they're taking it a step further. Because sometimes you talk to some of them, there will be things like, oh, my mother used to use, my mother was not even naturally dark skinned, but she used to use creams and she was lighter. And then she gave birth to me and I was darker, right? And then you see the language that people use. Siblings who come from a household where one is darker and one is lighter will tell you things. They've heard shaggy about what adults, grown-ass adults will use when they are comparing two people born of the same mother when it revolves around complexion. People say a lot of nonsense. So if somebody wakes up and bleaches their skin, it's not something that is happening in a vacuum. We all need to do better collectively where this matter is concerned. I have articles that are going to be linked in the description box that just state, okay, let me even read from some of them, okay? I have one here that I find very, very interesting. This particular article is from the National Library of Medicine, and then it was just researchers done in this area, different continents, right? And then this is what it says in the section for Africa, because there's Asia and a bunch of other places. So it says skin bleaching became popular cosmetic practice in many African countries in the 1950s. Up to 75% of women in Nigeria, okay, Nigeria is the highest percentage here, and then followed by Mali 50%, 30% in Ghana, 60% in Senegal. Actually, no, Senegal actually follows Nigeria with 60%, and there's Mali and there's Ghana use bleaching creams regularly. So this percentage is percentage of women and men who use bleaching creams regularly, right? And like I said, colonization did a number on us, to be honest. And there are also stats here for South African countries. Dermatologists in KwaZulu-Natal, South Africa, was saying that 30% of our patients use skin lightening treatments, okay? It's a thing. It's a thing. And in all these countries, the reasons are just all very similar. The reason why I've gone on to break this thing down here is that for people who you see doing these things, I needed to give them some grace, but then you also have to educate them as well. Because they are doing it because they feel that if they don't do it, they will not get certain things. Educate them as well. Because you'll be thinking, oh, the stats are out there. Doctors are saying this and that. Even skin that has been bleached extensively over a period of time makes for difficult stitching after emergency procedures. Because of the thinness. Because of just how much these things erode all the necessary layers of your skin. A lot of the things that we are buying and using here, they're not organic skincare products. A lot of the things that a lot of these Instagram vendors are selling to you people contain steroids. A lot of them are not NAFDAC approved. A lot of them are not being truthful about what they are putting inside. These products, by their very nature, are not organic skincare products. I need us to clear that up. That's not what they are. They are also not natural skincare products. I'm going to round this video up by talking to my fellow creators or to just influencers in general. I've noticed a lot of people in my niche, people who are, their niche is actually beauty and skincare and not lifestyle. So let's say skincare and beauty. They actually do not push Nigerian organic skincare products as much, if you guys pay very close attention. And there's a reason why. There's a very, very specific reason why. If it goes beyond oils and shea butters and just black soaps that have normal ingredients in them, you don't see them talking about it. There's a reason why a lot of the people you see pushing certain products towards you are not, their niche is not necessarily skincare. And it's not like these brands do not approach those people. There's a reason why. They approach them, but then at the end of the day, there's a reason why they're not the people who you're seeing pushing these things towards you people or towards the general public. And this is what I have to say. I know that a lot of the time the money is good and things are hard. But guys, at a point your conscience has to kick in. You know, it has to kick in. I have a model. You can go and ask any skincare brand that you believe I have ever worked with. I do not push anything, or I do not ever come here and, especially skincare. With makeup it's easy, you know, because even if I'm working with a client, in a week or two, I should be able to know if a product is for me or not. Skincare, I can beat my chest. I have never come here to share anything with you people that I have not used for a minimum of 2 months. My rules and regulations when it comes to skincare are very, very, very strict. And this is the reason why a lot of products, you guys see that products I talked to you guys about in 2018, skincare, they are still in one way or the other in my routine. And this is because I use myself first. There's no reason why you should be telling people to go and buy something that you're not using. That's not good. Anything that involves skin lightening, I have lost money. I'm not going to lie to you people. I will never forget a brand that came to me in 2018. This brand had been around in the market for a very, very long time. And I remember like in my uni days, I knew about them. They're a foreign brand, big brand. I knew about them. And I know one friend said that used it then that he burnt everything. And her mother came to school, like he burnt her knuckles and gave her hyperpigmentation. And I remember that her mom came to school and packed all the products from her and said, don't use this thing again. Look at how you're looking. Right? I remember like sometime in 2018 or so, they did a whole rebranding, you know, talked about how their ingredients are natural now, even made a case for some of those products that people were using that had their brand name on it, that were giving them all these side effects were from like, because it doesn't matter how small you are, a brand in Nigeria, people are selling fake of your products in Balogun markets. And then I remember that one of their arguments to me then was that some of those products that people were experiencing negative effects were like, you know, they were imitations and they're not the real thing. But that they've done a whole rebranding now and they're just trying to educate people around their products. This was one of the brands in my life, first brand I never negotiated. Like, they were not ready to negotiate. They wanted to pay me whatever my rate was in USD. I'll never forget it. I read that email. 2 days later, I got back to them. I said, I know fit. You understand? I can't do it. To be honest, after that whole thing, to be honest, I know that they ended up working with some people, but I've not really even heard a lot of people complaining about their products the way they used to, because they really did something to clean up their image in Nigeria at the time. But what I'm trying to explain to you people is that every time I remember that my friend and her mom going to uni and packing those products from her, I'm like, I cannot, like, why would I? I get what you people are trying to say. I get that hyperpigmentation is a real issue for black women. But what I'm trying to explain to you is that it was not worth the money for me. And I needed the money at the time. Because that year was one of my most difficult years after I started my career on this channel. So what I'm trying to explain to you people is that, guys, sometimes whatever money you feel like is controversial and somebody puts before you, and you're like, I don't know when I'm going to get this type of deal again, you will get it again. As long as you're consistent and putting out things, but do not compromise integrity-wise when it comes to these things. It is very, very important because the damage goes far, deeper than you can ever imagine. Especially when people reach out to you. Plenty people are telling you that this product is doing something for them or doing something to them. Give them audience. There's a reason why. So that's just basically it. I hope that this video just, like, you guys understood what I was saying. But a lot of the things they're not organic skincare products. You're better off buying something from a brand that you know that at least a dermatologist was involved in the process at a point. It's just safer for you. We also don't even know, aside some of these things that we're seeing now people are complaining about, aside cancer, aside skin disease, what are the other long-term effects of some of the things that you're using? Please be extremely careful. And good skin is not just light skin. It does not matter what your skin tone is, my loves. It can glow. It is already clean. It is beautiful. It can shine. Please be very careful. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up and subscribe to me if you are not yet subscribed yet. I love you guys, and I will see you in my next one. Mwah.